We are back in Lisle/Naperville for round 30 of 31 here at the Word Cup. Jesse Matthews here in studio with Evans Clinchy, and shortly joining us as well will be the champion, recently crowned in the last round, Dave Wiegand. He's gone on a coffee run, and we'll be back in the room shortly with celebratory coffees. I gave him the last of the caffeinated coffee this morning at the breakfast buffet, and took a decaf. I took one for the team, guys, like actually literally. So Dave decided to repay and get me a proper coffee now that he's essentially just enjoying himself and has clinched that first prize. Welcome back. We have got Will Anderson and David Eldar fighting for second place, and that would be $5,000 in the line, so no small chunk of change.
Not at all. And bear in mind, these are not the only two players in that race for second place. Jesse Day is also very much alive. In fact, it's most likely that either Will or Jesse finishes second, as Eldar is actually 1.5 wins back in the standings. Actually, wait a minute.
I would say
that's not
update
correct.
those
Let me refresh
standings.
that. My bad.
And it looks like Eldar is pulled very nicely to begin
He's
here.
half a win back.
He has got, my stream is a little fuzzy,
Yeah, he won
Sulfa and E blank.
Oh, okay. Very good start for Eldar as he's drawn some blank bingos, it looks like. Yeah, so Avo is definitely the play, and he puts the first A on the star. That makes a lot of sense. And all sorts of bingo options here. Sulfate, fluates, flans, vasful. Take your pick. And Will has drawn the other of the two blanks, so they're both going to bingo on this turn. And we're off to a rip-roaring start. You can already see it.
And all things considered with the score in the last game, it seems like Will scored decently well, despite losing by that massive score.
For sure.
It's been pointed out that Will would have a double-double if it were left untouched. Seems unlikely, but all the same. It is Eldar on turn, as pointed out in the chat, and with the L to hook Ava, it seems pretty highly likely that spot is not going to remain.
Yeah, a lot of the best plays hook an S onto Ava, such as, all the bingos I said, sulfate, fluates, etc. You could either hook an S or an L, because Aval is, I think that came up earlier in this tournament as well. We've seen that Aval hook already.
Yes.
So assuming a play like that comes down, we're going to see if Will is able to hit a high-scoring bingo in response.
Depending on what Eldar plays, Aval takes the E hook on the end, could be a potential part of the response.
I see Wayman in the chat mentioning Fava Blues. There's really two problems with that. I mean, one is that it's not a word, and the other is it's not a bingo.
Yeah.
You'd be using your blank to score like 48 or something.
No.
It's a 6-tile play.
Brett Smitherin points out Ferulas and Aval creates no massive threats.
Seems pretty good.
Placement is quite good on that.
Yeah. Yeah, if Ferulas come down, I mean, we would see, I was just looking in Quackle at what we would see after a play like Ferulas, and there is a very nice overlap of lasered or tasered.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Avail, depending on the play, could be coming in very handy here.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It should be interesting to see what is chosen.
We were talking earlier in the tournament about the David Eldar School of Time Management, but this is move 1, and David is 3.5 minutes in, so a little bit of...
Here we go. It's been lined up.
Okay.
Question is, what is he going to make the blank?
Letters are in that order, I have a guess. Oh, is speculas good?
Speculas is a word.
Oh,
so
I see.
Okay.
We will definitely need confirmation that the blank is either a. It appears to be an R we're hearing from the producers.
R as in Robert, so that would leave tasered or lasered as
tasered or
two
lasered.
comeback
With
plays.
all of the overlaps, making FA and ES and RE and so on.
This is one of those racks where if it comes up on Aerolith or even in Zizivar, I'm just like, man, do I really have to put in all of the answers for this? And it's kind of the same thing on a board where it's like, do I really have to look through all of the choices for this?
But sometimes you need one specific one, as is the case here. So, that goes to show that all words matter.
Oh, wait, he's put Avaz. Never mind. I am so sorry.
Oh, different play than we thought. Okay.
Yes.
I think, oh yeah, nothing plays now. It's just sadness. Yeah, now you got some boring bingo from the A, like awardees. Oh, you still can play a big 6 overlap thing. Who sees the big 6 overlap thing that is still playable for Will Anderson now? It does not involve Avast, although I can see why one would guess that. There is one 6 overlap bingo that is still playable.
Brett points out that with that last play, he's trying not to open other quadrants by using that positioning.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Leon asks, where is this being held? It is being held in Chicagoland, specifically in Lisle or Naperville, one of the outer suburbs of the greater Chicago area. Mm-hmm. In the United States of America.
All right, a couple of correct guesses in the chat. Hederas, Hederas, is the bingo that plays with 6 overlaps alongside of Feralas. That would be 80 points. It's not necessarily the best play. You could also play awardees just in the middle of the board from the A. Both of them are 80. And it's interesting to think about, the board dynamics of each one. Things would certainly be a little bit more closed up after Hederas than they would be after awardees. And so Will's got to think about, what kind of game do I want to play here? Do I want to get all fast and loose and wild and open, or maybe not so much?
Tiggy asks, are there any women in the finals? Assuming you're referring to this division, I'm not sure if in the greater race for prize money in this division, if there are women in contention, but I do know that in, I believe it was Division 2, we had several very strong contenders.
Yes, Division 2 is a very diverse field featuring a lot of interesting candidates for the prize there. So currently Noelle Livermore and BJ Premore are doing battle. That's 2 men on table 1, but there are a number of women in the top 10 right now fighting for big prize money, including such names as Yukiko Loritz, Terry Kang, Randy Goldberg, Rahina Tanvir, and Lindsay Shin, who's currently in 10th place. So that'll answer that question for you. It's a very male-heavy Division 1, I'm not going to lie, but definitely one of the long-term goals of the Cons Coalition, and I think of the Scrabble community in general, is to become a more diverse community for diversity of all kinds, whether it's races, ethnicities, genders, sexual orientations, you name it. We would love to have, all people feel welcome in the community and feel like they can really compete at the highest levels if that's what they want to do.
Oh, Hederas has come down.
Oh, very nice play. You love to see it. Yeah, that's great.
It looks like Wabin is not Wabin. Wabin is commenting that Deldar is appearing to be holding.
Tis good, though. If he challenges, it's going to be +5 to Will. Coco's stance on cyborgs. I think we're scared of them. Cyborgs make me uncomfortable. I haven't really gotten the scared of cyborg stance approved by the entire board of directors, so don't quote me on that yet. But me personally, they're creepy. This is my take. All right, looks like there was no challenge, right? Just a hold on Hederas and no challenge, I believe.
I believe so.
Okay. I didn't see the clock stop at any point. Speaking of cyborg, David has most of the letters in that word on his rack.
And speaking of cyborgs, Nigel Richards is not here. Electro Llama, hello. Welcome to the chat and to the broadcast. Nice to have you here.
So not Cyborg, but Coburg, C-O-B-U-R-G, is one of the words available here to Eldar. He can play Coburg, making Kavas with the hook, the C hook for 24 points. Oh yeah, Courbing is a word that unfortunately he can't play because there's no N on the board, but a nice spot in chat nonetheless. Courbing.
Vicious Rhubarb, welcome to our broadcast. Mentioning you are here from the recommended broadcasts on Twitch. In awe of that overlap play. It is a beautiful play, I would have to agree.
Oh yeah.
For anyone who is ranging from the kitchen player to even the expert player, you know, you love to see spots like that. Very skillful. Electra Lama says they're a Jesse Day fan. He, as in Jesse Day, was my ultimate Frisbee coach. That's cool. I like that. Sick draw for Eldar, says Jeremy Koo. Yeah.
Wow, he's drawn, yeah, cigarette right out of the bag. Very nice. Almost as sick as lung cancer, yes.
Ooh, going for that sick analysis there. Ooh, and you know who we have back in the room? We have the good doctor, fresh from the coffee run.
Dr. Bing has 3 coffees in hand. You love to see it.
Yes. So, true to form, he did say it was a little bit too early for beer yet, which is valid, but not too early for coffee. So we are caffeinating on stream.
All right. What do we got so far?
Close game early. Both players bingoed on move 2, or I guess one for one of them, 2 the other. So 92-91, close game, and it is Will on turn holding the Z and the V and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I can slurp my coffee a little bit and not make too much noise in the mic, but let me know if that's a problem.
I feel like there's probably some coffee variation on mukbang where instead of like there's the eating sounds that people watch on streams on places like Twitch, there's like the sipping coffee sounds. Perhaps that's like morning ASMR, like there's that satisfying sound of a coffee being sipped. Jeremy comments, this Zed is surprisingly useless.
Yeah, there's ways to score 30-ish, but nothing more than that. I think playing Ooze at the bottom next to Dago will be a little bit crazy aggressive. Not sure if he wants to do that.
Zoo looks okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Does set up a big Zeta play. A.
Interesting that 4 of the 9 A's are already gone. Yeah, so Zoo next to Fairla's making Zed. Or an hour is definitely an option here. Well, Will has Tozy arranged on his rack.
Where does Tozy play?
Oh, he's making Tozy and Bast. Okay.
Interesting.
32 points. Doesn't open anything too crazy. What is Bast takes an O, right? Yeah, Basto. Oh, Bast takes a lot of hooks. A-E-I-O-S. Very interesting. So there's going to be an open lane on the right side of the board, I'm guessing, for a little bit here.
So apparently Aaron Bader harshly judges the rest of the world for using the correct pronunciation of Zed. That's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. We love you anyway. Matthew Tunnicliffe asks, is there a Word Cup 2023 announced yet? That I'm not sure of.
Not yet. It's going to be a little bit, I think.
He's got cigarette.
Yep.
A nice play.
Pasta.
Ooh, yeah, cigarette and Basta for 90. So Eldar with kind of a 1 bingo lead here, 181 to 124.
Cesar asks, basta means enough in Spanish. How is it also Shakespeare? I'm trying to think of like, maybe it shows up in the Merchant of Venice or like one of those plays. Perhaps it's been borrowed from that. Like, who knows? And yes, it is also Italian for enough, as points out. I believe that's Matthew Bernardino, if I recall my usernames correctly. Please let me know if I'm wrong.
He's got Voipadu.
Voipadu.
Nothing too great.
Yeah, a lot of the strongest equity options are pretty scary in terms of what they open up. for your opponent. Like you don't really want to play something like avoid or ovoid at the bottom if you can help it. Just give your opponent an easy triple. You could play Devo, but that takes a T for divot. That's pretty scary as well.
I think ovoid looks okay. You
Think so?
gotta get rid of the stuff, score some points, and he's behind. He needs to open the thing. So it also retains PA for possible plays on column O.
Yeah, AP
Zep
things
and,
maybe.
and
Yeah.
Ita.
Yeah.
Said no one points out, Basta was made one play at a time. Yeah, that's in reference to it building slowly to the right, starting with Ferula's creating BA and then Hedera's creating BAS. It's certainly fun to have seen that unfold. You don't always get to see something extend all the way out like that to an overlap up to 5.
Unfortunately, no more building is possible.
Yeah.
No
There's an
fun, Basta.
extension in toroidal Scrabble, but we're not going to mention that word on the air.
All right.
A tough spot for Will.
Yeah, it looks like he's got ovoid arranged on his rack. I wonder if he's considering that.
Seems like the play. It's not,
Oh, and he is going to put it down, it looks like. Oh, no? Yeah, he is. Okay. Ovoid indeed. And yeah, hits the clock. Okay. So that puts him back within 33 here. Still a fairly close game.
looks like Eldar can do acidify.
Ooh,
Something like that.
yeah, acidify looks pretty nice.
Blocks everything, scores well.
Yeah, that C is nice and defensive. Hard to overlap, although both H's are still out there.
Jeremy Koo points out that Will has drawn a paid at minimum over on column O. As mentioned before, that will
yeah.
score very nicely.
Yeah, so a paid, if unblocked, will be 56. Yeah, that's a big play. And I don't think it is going to be blocked. Like none of Eldar's best plays prevent a paid from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So Aaron Bader's provided a quote from Taming of the Shrew. That is, of course, a work of Shakespeare where Basta shows up in the dialogue from one of the characters. Potential source material for that word.
I'm sure it's how Will feels about these beatings he's taken the last round and a half from Eldar. Basta, enough!
Yes.
Stop pummeling me. Not that he's getting pummeled too bad in this one. He's certainly still alive. These two guys competing for possibly second place at Word Cup. Our co-commentator Dave Wiegand is Gibsonized for first place, and there is a very exciting race for second, including Will, David, and also Jesse Day is alive in that race. Jesse's currently on board 2 playing Thomas Reinke, and so we'll keep an eye on that result as well. Jesse has 19 wins equal to Will, which means they're both a half game up on David Eldar. Looks like acidify is definitely the best play. I mean, I'm not sure what else there is to think about. It's certainly better to play acidify than nitrify in this situation since you're up and you want to keep things a little bit closed off for your opponent. Wonder what else is going through David's mind here.
Here it comes.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, and it's on the board. Okay. So acidify comes down, and David is pretty much in a 1 bingo lead position here, although a paid is probably coming. A paid or a DAW, ADAW, which scores pretty well. That's another option.
Probably just take the points with the paid.
Yeah, seems pretty strong. David drawn? Oh, he's drawn. There's no tea available for
Relaxant.
relaxant. Yeah. No tea for relaxant. Okay.
Or Alexander through split E's.
Yeah,
Or A. DE. DE he needs for Alexander.
oh, yeah. All right. Will's going to choose a daw. Okay. Keeps IMP, an interesting leave to be sure. Giving up 7 points, though, compared to a paid.
Not sure I agree with that.
Yeah, 7 points is quite a bit. But the game is a little bit closer now. Eldar up by only 16. He's going to have his choice of possible X plays coming up here. There's Axe, there's Vax from the V.
Yeah, he needed the DE instead of ED to have Alexander.
Some discussion in the chat, including wondering if Will missed a paid, and as it was mentioned by someone else, Will had a paid lined up, so no, it does not seem like he missed it. It was an intentional choice to go with a daw instead.
He's drawn another W. So maybe it was smart.
That amazing predictive vision.
Eldar drops Axe for 32.
Yeah, 245, 197.
Looks like Eldar's drawn Almners, says
Ooh.
Aaron Bader.
We don't immediately see if the, oh, of course that plays.
Lavas.
As is a word. Oh, and lavas. Yeah, pretty strong position here for Eldar, as Will is not drawn super well.
Yeah, this is ugly for Will.
Yeah, he's going to need a bingo soon to come back. Well, I mean, after Eldar bingos, he might need 2 of them. Looks like he's lined up Impede on his rack through the ED at the top of the board there. And he does play it. Okay. And we're going to see an Insta Almners from David.
Where did he play Almners?
Looks like it's going to be underneath Impede forming is. Okay.
Yep.
So 93 points up now is Eldar. And Will really wants to draw something good here. And
Looks like he has. He's had a Whittier pull.
Whittier. Okay. He's got a bingo and it does play.
The chat's pointing out Tavas as the potential spot for that.
Nice draw to WIE.
Yeah.
Always keep the Wiegand leave. It's good strategy.
Highly recommended. He learned the second time. He got rid of the W the first time, you know?
Clearly, he did not know how to draw well against Eldar last round, so I guess he's learned some things since then.
Indeed. Perhaps got some insight from Dave between rounds on that coffee run.
All right. The best placement of Whittier is the one making Tavas, and Will does play it. Good job there.
Speaking of coffee run, I see Donna is back. Welcome back. You too are caffeinated. Very good.
It's and queens almost.
Yeah, needs a U.
Is N queens good?
I don't think so. Or wait, is it?
Doesn't quite fit.
Oh yeah.
No, it's
Yeah,
not good.
only unqueens is an 8 available with this rack, but no U available for David, unfortunately for him. Is there a hold on top of this? Because Will hasn't drawn any tiles, it looks like.
He has them face down, it looks like.
Yeah, well,
Oh, maybe he's just doing his tracking. Never mind. Okay.
So
Yeah.
is there any good plays? Quern.
Yeah, it looks
dropping
like something like Quern or Queen.
Quern for 30 seems pretty good. Keeping ENS.
And Donna points out the C is blocking the bottom triple. Yeah, for the most part it is. As mentioned further up, there's been some reference to the fact an H still hasn't showed up. And the reason for that being highlighted is because the only letter that hooks a C is an H, and that would play along the bottom row. So yes, C is mostly blocky.
Who doesn't know the word ch? Yeah, 25 tiles left, and 2 of them are H's. Pretty high H percentage. Yeah, a lot of H conversation in chat. Look at that. Everybody's asking about those H's.
Ironically, Eldar's tile makes a bingo with the H. I think he also needs another vowel, either an E or an I. Yeah, there you go. That would do it. 2 spellings, that lovely word. Suleiman OGL says, hi, where do you recommend for playing online? Oh boy, there's a few people in this chat who can answer that question.
Well, I think
will
we should
avoid
be careful
making
because
any
we have
comment.
sponsors paying us to air this broadcast, so we want to be mindful of not shouting out their competitors.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm obligated to say that we are brought to you by PlayScrabble.com. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that for now. We can talk more later. They're paying your paycheck, okay?
It's true. So,
I ain't getting nothing for
Scopely.
All right, it looks like
Quern goes down.
Quern through the R. Okay. That's as good a choice as any, I suppose. Quern, Queen, they're all pretty similar options, and he picks one.
He's almost got Joe Edley. Joe Gedley.
Hold. Ruloy says, go Will. Hello, nice to have you in the broadcast. Will is hotly in contention for second place at this tournament. Good to see we have some of the Standersons in the chat. Ben Schoenbrunn says, I'm probably not going to finish with a single-digit spread. I drew too well today. Well, there's still time to fix that.
Mean, but true. Well, I guess if Ben's in the chat, that means he's only got 1 game left. He must have finished his round 30 already.
Yeah.
Eldar has bingos through C.
Oh, yeah.
Got the H, the critical H.
Yeah, I believe there's 2 bingos through the C with that rack. If anybody in chat wants to call them out, I'm sure somebody spots them. Oh, yeah, I see Rob says he needs an A, C, or T. Oh, no, just a C or a T. That's the word
Right.
A, not the letter A. Oh, wow, yeah. Tough bingo with a T. I didn't see that one at first. Tough spot here for Will as he evaluates his J scoring options. You could do something like Jolly, Jolley is valid.
He's only down 23 now. It's not looking so bad for him. Is that the right score?
No, it's like 348.
There's a little bit of a lag on this monitor, but or there's just
So Eldar's 348.
yeah, sorry. Corrected score is 348, 295.
Okay.
It's a 53-point deficit for Will here.
So Jolly brings him then
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, Jolly would make it pretty close. We are fighting to overcome laggy internet here at the Naperville Doubletree Hotel, doing the best we can.
He would probably prefer to leave bingo lanes open. Well, if he has another option besides Jolly, that would be blocking a lot.
Couple of questions. Jog potentially setting up Yelled, and then Vanita asks, is Judgy too reckless?
Judgy through the U and Quern.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I think equity-wise, a lot of these plays are pretty similar, you know, scoring in the 30s-ish with leaves that are only okay. So you just got to think about the dynamics of the board after each one and what he wants to see this board look like. 14 tiles in the bag. And it's kind of a funky looking pool with B's and H's and K's and stuff. Not a lot of vowels either. Considering all that, it's going to be pretty hard for Will to get a bingo. Not impossible, but hard.
Looks like he's lined up Jolly.
That is a lot of points. It's quite tough to turn that down.
Oh, and now he's looking at Judgy. Oh, he's going to play Judgy, it looks like.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So no spot for those bingos that you guys were talking about. No spot for none such or unchosen or unhonest. Unhonest. It's a weird word. Why not just dishonest? But it is what it is.
So to answer the questions in the chat earlier, well, Will has deemed that Judgy is okay and not too reckless, so he's gone for that. Joel Sherman's mention of a potential for honey bun earlier is actually pretty close. Not quite there, but very close.
Honey son. You could fish the S, try to draw the B.
Is he holding, you think?
I think Will was just quickly writing something down first. There we go.
Hope he wasn't tracking before he draws. That's instant disqualification.
That's a reference to etiquette and rules, technically, as far as what you're supposed to do in sanctioned Scrabble play. You're meant to draw your tiles and then make notations as far as scores and racks.
Yeah, we can bring up the pool for you guys. That's a good idea. With 10 in the bag. We'll show it to you in a second. These are the 16 tiles unseen. Or 17, excuse me, sorry. As I was saying before, pretty light on vowels and pretty funky with the consonants. B, H, K, P, kind of some weird stuff.
He probably wants to play through the Y to stop easy K plays there.
True, yeah.
Honey or Hyson.
Yeah, Hyson looks very strong, 45. How much does losing the S matter? It looks like not the best board for an S anyway.
Hello, Jameson. Welcome to the broadcast. Saying I've never seen one of these events before. Interesting, they spin the board and pull the tiles from bag above their head. Yeah, there's custom boards that we have available to purchase at various tournaments around the world. And then as for the bag above the head, that's a choice of drawing technique. There's really, that accomplishes all of the major things in the rules. You are meant to avert your gaze from the bag while drawing tiles, or have it held high enough so that you actually can't see in the bag while you draw tiles. So often people will just put the bag above their eye level to avoid any issues. Some people don't bother with that and just look away while they're drawing instead. Those both accomplish the same principle, which is that you can't see inside the bag while you draw tiles.
All right, Heisen does come down. I think I like that play a lot.
Yeah, 45 points. Nice.
SSR says, the problem with that is now I draw anything with a bag above my eyes. I have eaten potato chips multiple times this way.
Eldar's got neutron.
Ooh.
Plays at the top if that stays open. Or unordered. No, not underneath.
Looks like not quite neutrino.
No.
It'd have to be neutrino, basta, and OV. So Will is down by a bingo-sized margin with 6 tiles left in the bag. This is really tough for him. There's really no intuitive way to make the comeback happen. He's gonna have to get real creative.
About oop at the bottom, maybe?
Oop at the bottom.
Bottom right.
Yes, on top of acidify.
Yeah, you can try to bingo with ELNOR. Unfortunately, he's going to lose instantly to neutron if he does that, we happen to know.
Yeah, that's what he does.
That's what he does, okay.
Seems like a good play,
Yeah.
going for a bingo, but it's not going to work.
Sad. Oh, and neutron immediately shows up on the board. David Eldar wastes no time at all, okay.
Alex Dings says, this is the second to last round, right? Yes, I can confirm. This
Yes,
is
it
round
is.
30 of 31. So we will have one more round of coverage following this match.
So it looks like Bilk, B-I-L-K. Those are the last 4 tiles David's about to draw from the bag. And Will has got nothing here. Down over 100 and
GG.
Yeah, that is a GG.
So a rough go of it for Will Anderson. He came into the day in second place with a chance at possibly even first, but he drops 2 in a row to David Eldar. And that's going to make the race at the top of the standings for second place get really interesting.
And for obvious reasons, we don't have a matchup for board 1 yet, just because it will likely be the 2 people most likely in contention for second in the final round. And speaking of which, do we know, are you on a buy twice for sure?
Yes.
Okay, so that means hopefully you're staying with us. Some more of your incredible insight.
If you're not tired of me.
Oh, not at all. Please stay.
You brought us coffee. That counts for a lot.
That would just be the worst. Thanks for the coffee. Now get out. We would never.
So as far as pairings for the next round, I think it's going to be a while. We've got 18 games in progress in each round, and this is one of the faster ones to finish, it looks like. We've only got 2 results in so far, and one of them is Dave Wiegand versus Bai, with Dave squeaking out the win 50-0. So still waiting on most of the other results.
A true nail-biting match.
And of course, traditionally, Jesse Day has been one of the last results to Chicagoland each round, so it might be an extra long wait because of that.
Yes, and to that point, someone has asked how Jesse is doing. We probably don't have any information on that.
We don't
since he
know.
is
We can get somebody to go
last.
stalk him, but I don't feel comfortable with that right now.
Yeah.
Wait till it's a little bit less pressure on him.
Tiggy says, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Well done, David. Yeah, definitely for this one. Nice play.
So it's still Will's turn here. We've seen Will be very precise with his end games, even in games that are decided, 100 points for or against him. He's always deliberate to find the best play in his end games.
Alex points out the whole field is likely tired of Dave, probably. To be fair, you did lay some smack down there. Although you were playing with your food for a little bit yesterday and then you decided to finally have dinner.
Right.
Said no one asks, is it rude to stand next to players and observe? This is generally speaking, this is considered a faux pas. Usually if you are in the playing room, the unspoken etiquette is usually if you are going to be anywhere remotely near, you would very casually stroll by, not spending any time looking other than on your way by. You wouldn't be staring or giving any body language that could suggest to their opponent what that player might have on their rack. You are meant to be as close to a fly on the wall as possible if you happen to walk by the board, but you should not stick around.
And no looking up words on your phone.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God, is that good? Oh, let me check.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that ever.
Basically, anything that telegraphs anything as far as information goes from a player's rack, you definitely want to avoid doing that. So for the most part, it's easier just not to walk by unless you're very familiar with all these nuances of tournament Scrabble culture. But yes, you technically could.
All right. Horn from Will, Kid from Eldar. These look like perfectly fine plays, and they're going to play out the end game from here. Yeah. Will could have turned NIS into NIL. That would have been really cool. But can't blame him for not bothering to look. He's down by 100 and just wants to get this over with, I think. Although I contradicted what I just said about Will being very deliberate about his end games. In any event, it's going to be a 491 to 412 final as Eldar takes down Anderson here in round 30.